Okay, guys, let's just jump right on into it. My name is Chris. This is Wheelhouse Trading, and welcome to the Wheelhouse. It's been a wild roller coaster of a ride out there today. We had Jerome Powell speaking, and we got a lot of information. The market was erratic and volatile. It was so wild. I was looking forward to trading it, but it was so chaotic that I just kept hesitating because it would spike up and spike down, and it just seemed too risky. All I did was buy a couple little things, which was TZA and SQQQ. I didn't even really trade it, although I really wanted to. Let's go through some indexes. Let's go through some stocks. I want to go through some crypto. I want to show you some things that we do need to be aware of. And if it's your first time on the channel, thank you so much for visiting. I really appreciate that. If you wouldn't mind, hit the subscribe and select all, and like the video. Make me a comment if you like. And if you're returning, I really appreciate you. Guys, we have a Discord. The link is in the description below. And also we have a referral link for Webull. And they are giving away fractional and full shares. And all you got to do is sign up. Very, very easy. So let's take a look and see what's going on. Quite chaotic out there. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, you know, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 minor trend reversals. We were coming up to the descending. We either, you know, if we got really bullish and we broke out of there, we would be in new territory, especially if we got past this line. But my original assessment going back well over a month is that we would double bottom, make our way to the descending, and then come all the way back down to this floor. And then what would happen is we would bounce up and down until basically the beginning of September of 2023. Now, there are some mixed signals. Okay. When you see this one high and that pink dot show up, and if you look at my mouse, see the gray line? Okay, when you see the pink dot and it's high, and you see the one below it, the blue line is crossing down through the purple, and the one below that is high, and the blue line is crossing down below, and you look down further and you get purple volume, that's pretty much what indicates a pivot. Now, that almost always, if you go look back to right here, the same thing. The pink dot was high, the blue line crossed over. Below that, the blue line crossed over high in the channel, and you got purple volume. And what happened? It came down, okay? And they tend to look like pivots, and they tend to happen on primary downtrends, okay? It's obvious the Fed does not want the market to rally. So you could see the pivot. Now, we don't have an institutional whale diamond like we did in some of these other spots, like up here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. We don't have that yet. So that makes me think that we're in a digestive period. And we're definitely going to see some action on Thursday when you see this. Now, this blue line, it steepened. And when it steepens, it usually goes to this pink color. When it goes to this pink color, it usually comes down. So we have a lot of signals showing a bearish pivot that we're going to come down, and we're rejecting off of this. What I do want to remind you of, though, is that there was some forward guidance. Not that it was great at all. You know, Jerome Powell is basically saying, look, we need, you know, labor market, businesses to slow down, spending to still slow down, real estate to cool more. It's obvious he doesn't want stocks to go up. You know, it's quite clear on that. So, you know, a lot of things are telling me that we're going to pivot and come down. And, you know, you never know. This is a level, this is a level, this is a level, this is a level. Most likely in a descending, we'll kind of bounce around like this for quite some time. And so you'll run it to the long side, you'll run it to the short side. You'll run it to the long side, you'll run it to the short side. Or you'll keep your longs you'll lose money on them, and then when it turns, you can buy more. You can do that as well. Now, as far as positivity, you do have price action above the 200 on the Dow. You have the green lights indicator, and the directional move is nice going up, and you do have the ribbons, okay? But if you're swing trading, my swing trading stuff is saying that you're basically going to come down, and we don't know how far. I mean, it could just be like a beautiful impulse and kind of a bull flag thing and then jump back up and break the descending. I think that's wishful thinking. Or it could actually be a full-blown bearish pivot and we bounce around on the descending, which is kind of what I'm leaning towards. But I am getting a couple mixed signals. The fact that we're above the 200 is really, really a lot of progress. And the blue ribbon and this green one. So, yeah, if you're a swing trader, you're probably coming down on the Dow. Your Dow stocks will most likely start to feel it. Although you should know that most investors that invested down here, the reason the Dow jumped so much is because those are captains of industry, and they do they're large cap, mega cap, and their earnings are not getting shook too hard. So yeah, I think that definitely there's going to be a pullback in the Dow, and but that's okay because sometimes these things will oscillate and they'll come back up, and this will stay green and it'll show you the trend. So you never really have to completely worry until this one goes pink and this one goes pink. Then you gotta worry. Like for instance, see how this went pink and then this went pink. And then the whole time, it until here and here, it basically told you to stay out. So right now this is still blue and this is still green. So getting a little bit of mixed signals, but we're at the beginning. We like to catch our pivots at the beginning. This looks like the beginning of a bearish pivot, and coincidentally or not, of course, it would reject on the primary downtrend. And all my indicators are showing for swing trading and whatnot that, it's going to come down. So just be aware of that. But guys, I just want to say that's what's so amazing about the way that we trade. It doesn't really matter. Volume, price action, direction, pivots, that's what matters. We are momentum-based pivot-to-pivot directional traders. We don't care if we run it up. We don't care if we run it down. What we care about is identifying the pivots and then moving directionally to that downside to capitalize on it. SPY definitely showing a pivot. I mean, no institutional sales diamond, but a perfect rejection off the 200, and the wick is below, the body's above. This is still green. This is about to go pink. And all your swing trader indicators right now are saying the SPY is going to come down too. So whether it comes all the way down to here and then bounces up, or it just ladders down like here and bounces up, we don't know. We're going to have to take it day by day. But it's good we don't have an institutional sales diamond. It's good the ribbon's blue. It's good that the trend is showing we're still in, but we're definitely going to have an oscillation because it's already started. I can see it back there. And your swing trader indicators are saying that it's going to come down. It might be like a 3-4 day pullback, or it could be longer. Just hard to say right now. The Russell. Okay, the Russell is actually, this is the 200 right here, and the Russell is actually pivoted, but on the 200, so that'll be real interesting. And you can see this green one is saying stay in. And here's a good example of the oscillations. See how this is green, and then it's oscillating up and down and up and down and up and down, but this is still showing trend. Well, if I go back to the Dow, that's what I was talking about. Even though we're showing a pivot, it might just be an oscillation, and this is just showing trend, and we might be okay. It's really hard to say, but markets are strange and they're forward-looking, okay? I apologize if there's all kinds of noise and cats and dogs running around. I got dogs cleaning each other's faces back here and snorting, and cats looking for catnip and walking around behind my computer. All kinds of stuff going on. I'm like Ace Ventura over here. But yeah, I mean, definitely having to pivot. Don't know how long. If you're trend trading, I think you're okay. If you're swing trading, it's time to exit and wait for that first hike in a she. So you would let this thing come down, and then your first hike in a she, and then all these other things would sink for you, and then you'd run it up. Let's look at the NASDAQ. That one got hit pretty hard today, 3.36. Oh, the NASDAQ got the green lights. I didn't realize that till today. That's interesting. And the NASDAQ is right at this exact support. And you did get the red diamond that synced up with the red dot high in the channel while this is crossing, and this went under. So that's showing me that's going to come down too. And because this isn't like crazy momentum, it's more of a coiling pattern, this one looks the weakest out of all of them. And you did get institutional sellers here, but not here yet. So tomorrow will be interesting to see. So yeah, if you're swing trading the indexes, it's time to be, exiting long and going short. If you're trend trading, might need to give it a little bit more time to see like how the digestive period for tomorrow or for you today, which is Thursday, would be. Let's take a look at some of the stocks and the cryptos and see what's going on. Seems like crypto held up better. This is one of the ones I bought, SQQQ. It's up 10.38, but when I bought it, it was up like 4 or 5% already, so it's gone up a little bit more. When SQQQ goes up, that means the NASDAQ's coming down. So, yeah, and look at this. Everything is sinking, saying this is going to go up. And everything is sinking on the NASDAQ saying it's going to come down. So your inverse leverage bear is showing the NASDAQ's going to go down. This is the other one I bought. Again, I didn't get to buy too much. This one is not synced, but it is very close. You got the blue oscillation. This one crossed. This is about to cross, and you're about to get the dot here. You got your first hike in, but you don't have everything else perfect for you up here. So that's the Russell. Looks to me like we got a lot of leverage bear action. That means people are betting the markets are going to come down. These are all leverage bears. SOXS. DRV, I bought it yesterday at 61. It's now almost at 66. It was a good buy. SPXS is one that I've been holding, and I forgot to sell a long time ago, and I'm down on it, but I noticed it came up quite a bit today, which is a bet the SPY will come down, okay? But if you're using my Jedi green lights method, you're waiting for this to be green and this to be blue, and they're both still pink. Therefore, if you were trading it on the daily, you wouldn't be entering quite yet. But if you're swing trading on tighter swing settings, it's saying that the SPY is going to come down and this is going to go up. I'm sorry if this is all confusing. In a nutshell, what I'm seeing is all the indexes are about to come down, and all the leveraged bears that are inverse to those exits are about to come up. Okay? CRISPR. Keep noticing CRISPR. Now, I own CRISPR. I'm down on it because I bought it at I think it's like $66 or something. I even made an alert saying I wanted to buy it, and this is why. Because it is... it's showing strength on the 1 hour, and typically if this goes green and this goes blue, you can enter. I just wanted to see what happened with the Jerome Powell situation, and I'm kind of, looking for safety in this environment and waiting for price action to get above the 200. I might add more tomorrow, which will average me down into momentum. SARK is, obviously SARK is doing good. SARK is going to do really well if the market comes down. That's the inverse of the ARK Cathie Woods. And, of course, SDOW is a bet that the Dow will come down. And SDOW just got the green lights on the hourly where I like to trade. And if this pops up blue, that's the perfect entry. In fact, I might stay up late and add SDOW if that's the case. In fact, I know I will. I'll stay up for pre-market. Yeah, see how this went green and this is blue? And you got institutional buyers that came in at 27.77. God, they're quick. God, they're so good. Again saying that the Dow is going to come down. FAS is a bet that financials will come down. Now, financials did okay on earnings. However, I am a believer that, when we get deeper into 2023 with these rate hikes, and yeah, they make more money because they have higher interest, true, but they have far less customers, getting mortgages and taking out loans at these high rates. I mean, if you know anything about finance, you don't want to be taking on debt at a high interest rate. It's much better to take on debt, when we were in the pandemic and we had very low interest rates on the prime rate, the federal fund rate. I do think that FAS, if you're looking for a longer play, that's going to end up being a good one to pay out. And let's look at that on the daily. I know it came down because we had some good earnings. However, looks like it's bouncing off support. This isn't blue yet, but it's about to be. So, and it looks like we're kind of moving towards buyers are coming in. The color purple there changed to the regular purple. That's also an indication that there's a change in direction, and you can see it on the 1 hour, and it's starting on the 30 minutes. So FAS, again, a triple leverage, betting financials will come down. Now, even though Bitcoin and Ethereum are showing weakness on the daily as far as swing trading, and they probably will come down over time, that doesn't mean as traders that we can't be hitting the momentum, okay? Look at this right here, BAT token. I picked it up, made alerts on it just the other day. Look at it rock right now. Look at it jumping, okay? Go to the 5 minute. Look at that uptrend, okay? Look at the hour. This is how I like to do it. This is how I like to teach you. If this thing goes green right here, okay? If it goes green, you wait for the next triangle and blue, and then you just stay in the green the whole time, okay? Until this goes pink and this goes pink, which could be way, way up the road. The goal is always to get it to go to the daily, which this one is not on the daily. But let's just take a look at a couple. I picked up more Matic at 88 cents. I put pictures up and alerts, and this thing jumped, and it jumped all the way to 96 cents. Actually, I think it went to 98 cents. Look at that on the 5 minute. You can still trade, even though it's looking like it's going to come down overall. There's a lot of action in the low time frames. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. When this first goes green, then what you do is you wait, okay? You wait for the triangle and the blue, and then you enter right here on this candle, and that's what I did, okay? And then boom, look at that go, okay? This was the breakout over here at 94 cents. Look at it on a 4 hour. This is Matic, okay? Look at the breakout. Look at it on the daily, guys. This thing is humming. You got the green lights on the daily. No problem. Matic is a runner. Look at Chainlink, okay? Let's take it on the minutes. I mean, this thing is hustling. It's hustling, homie. I got some dirt on my shoulders. Will you brush it off for me? Look at that on the 5 minute. Look at it on the 30 minute, okay? We're not quite bullish to the 30 minute, but we're about to. You can see in the price action. Same thing on the hourly. It's bouncing off the 200. It's about to run. I'm already in, but once this thing goes green, and then once it's green, and the next time that the other one goes blue, like see, this is already blue. So if this turns green in the next hour, you could jump in that and you could ride that, and that could go for days. Okay, see how this one's already green. All right, and then on the daily on Chainlink, I just want to make a note that we just got the green lights. It just showed up a couple hours ago, okay? Here's another one that I recently bought, and even though a lot of these might look like they're coming down on the daily, who cares? At the Wheelhouse, we are momentum-based pivot-to-pivot directional traders. We just run game. We establish and identify the pivot, watch our sync system and the volume, and we get it. And we don't care if it's up or down. Look at that. See the pivot? Comes way, way, way down. Boom. Way down. There's the pivot. Goes green. Okay? See how it goes green if you're trading on the 5 minute? And because it's blue underneath it, you can get in and you're just in. You're in there like swimwear. Okay? Now, if you're trading on the hourly, you're waiting for this to go green. And loop ring is, it's obviously way down, but if you go back and you say, okay, well, I like loop ring, and you want to look at an all-time high, this was at 391 and you're at 27 cents. That's ridiculous. I mean, even if you were kind of over here in the middle of these wicks at 232, you're still looking at a 10x, right? So, you know, consider that. Sushi, I've been calling it since $1.02. Look at this uptrend on the minutes, okay? Let's smooth it out on the 5 minutes. Look at that, okay? Let's look at the 30-minute. Beautiful. Let's look at the hour. This is how I trade a lot. If it gets green here and then it goes blue on the hourly, I just stay in. And here's an example. It goes green here, I wait. I wait until the diamond and this goes blue, and then look what happens after. Now it's going to oscillate. I'm going to stay in the green lights. It's going to oscillate, okay? And I'm going to stay in until this goes pink right there, and this goes pink at the same time, and I'm going to exit at the very top. And then I'm going to stay out until this goes green, and then 1 hour later, this went blue, and then I get back in. Boom. And I'm always in at the bottom of the pivot, always out at the top of the pivot. That's why my win rate's high. That's why my gains are insane. That's what I would teach you. One of the trading styles I would teach you inside of the Wheelhouse Discord. Look at ApeCoin. I had to pick up another 1,000. I got 6,000 now. Look at this on the 5 minute. This thing's running. You want to catch the pivot. Boom. When it does it on the 5 minute, you know, and you're already in, that's a really good thing, especially if you're bullish to the hourly. But there's the green, okay? And then you kind of wait. Usually there'd be a diamond here, but you see the pivot, and then you can do it on the first blue candle as well, and there's your HMA. You got both of them, and now you're just in. You're just in, and you're running it, okay? On the hourly, it's not quite there, but as an example, if you were trading it and you went green here, you just wait, okay? And right here, where it changes blue and green, what happens? Not only do you avoid this damage because you don't buy when it goes green, you just get put on notice. You go down, you wait for this to go blue, and boom, you run. You don't have to worry about all these oscillations. You just stay in the green through the trend until this goes pink and this goes pink. And you sold over here. You went down a little bit, but you still exited good. And then you avoid all this, and then you wait for this to go green and this to go blue, and you're back in, and you're running it. And that's a killer way to trade. One Harmony, I just recently picked it up. I mean, it's running. I mean, it's running, guys. And again, the best way for me to measure it, you know, the way I like to do it is on the hourly. So when this goes green, if it pops up blue, which I know that it did, that's why I got in. And I like getting in right at the beginning. So I see it goes green. I know I want it. It goes blue. And now I'm just going to be in for days. Just like right here. It went green. Let me enlarge it for you guys, okay? So it went green right there, okay? It kind of fell a little bit. And then there's the triangle, and there's the blue. So now you got blue and green, and now you're just in. Don't worry about the oscillations. Don't worry about any of it. You just stay in the green lights, called the Jedi green lights, and when it goes pink, the very next time that this goes pink, you get out, and you got out right here at the top. And then you just wait it out, you avoid all this, and when it goes green, the very next time this goes blue, you get in. You're buying at the bottom of the pivot, you're selling at the top, and you're entering on the best hour and exiting on the best hour inside of the time frame. So if you can buy on the best hour and sell on the best hour every single time at the bottom and the top, of course you're going to win. Cracking the Da Vinci Code over here, baby. Let's just look at Doge. So Doge is actually, I know it's come down a little bit right now, but it's actually done really well. Had a nice pump. It is getting weakness on the 5 minute, and the 1 hour. So it looks like it's going to come down a little bit. But on the daily, I mean, anything that goes parabolic is going to come down, but it's not saying you need to get out. So don't trip. It's just going to retrace a little bit. Avalanche has had a good day. You know, you can just see it. You know, it's looking good. Even if they're showing a little bearish on the daily, it has to start early on the time frames for it to build enough strength to get back to bullish on the daily. So, you know, it's all par for the course. And again, at the Wheelhouse, we don't care. We don't care if the treasury yields go up. We don't care if he's going to hike the rates. We do not care about any of it. We just care about getting in on the perfect hour, exiting on the perfect hour, using the rules, the guidelines, the system, and going directionally off the pivot up and directionally off the pivot down. Okay? The indexes will tell you as an umbrella what's going to happen to everything in it. Bitcoin's like an index. Okay? Dow is an index, Russell's an index, SPY is an index. So, there's a lot of movement going on out there. Look at Solana as an example. Look at this uptrend on Solana. Solana wants to move. There's the pivot, okay? And it just isn't stopping. Smooth it out on the 5 minutes a little bit so you can see it more clearly. Boom, it goes green, and it will go blue here when it loads. So it goes green, there's your triangle, and it went blue, and you just stay in the whole time. Again, once you see that coming, the goal is really to be waiting for the hourly, because when the hourly, the price action gets above the 200 and you get the green lights in this one, and you get everything to sync, you're halfway through the time frames. And if you can get bullish to the hourly, you're most likely going to get bullish to the 4 hour, the 6 hour, the 8 hour, the 12 hour, and then back to the daily. And if you have that green lights on the daily and you reassess it and get it back on the hourly, you're moving in the same trend direction in multiple time frames is a better way to say that. So there's a lot of good ones out there. A lot of good ones out there. Algorand is one that I'm really digging. This pump was sick right here. It's just retracing a little bit, nothing to trip on. Algo's one that, I love, And yeah, on the 5 minutes showing some weakness, but fighting, still above the 200, nothing to trip on. But here's the deal. We like to be on the hourly. If you start on the hour and you end on the hour every time, you don't go back to the minute and freak out or go to the 5 minute and freak out. You go on the hour. If that's where you start, that's where you end. So on the hour, boom, I was already in this thing and I already ran this thing from 30 cents. Okay, here's 30 cents right here. I actually got in just right over here. So it went green, okay? And I'll enlarge it for you. Here's how you can see when I make the alerts. It went green and I waited because it always drops. There's an institutional buy. The triangle happens. It went blue. I got my green and my blue and I just stayed in the whole trend. Now I didn't sell my algo, but what I did do is I bought more algo because this went green. See, it was pink. It went green, and then when it went blue right here, I bought more, and immediately after I bought it, it launched up. It's the way of the Jedi, baby. Doge is still looking good. Oh no, Doge is gonna come down on the hourly. It's looking like. Yep, Doge is gonna come down temporarily. See this blue circle right here? I've never explained that to you. That circle right there is a false breakout. It's so accurate how it calls it. It's insane. So the fact that flashed, it's saying that even it's basically tricking. It's showing that this is blue and that things are sinking and the momentum's going up, but this is actually calling that it's going to be a false breakout, and it is right. It's right so often it's insane. Look, here's a purple one. This means it's a false breakdown. So you think it's going to break down, it calls it before all these candles, and then it shot up. So when you see this one, it calls it, and it looks like it's going to go up, and then it falls down. Because we have false breakout and false breakdowns on here. It's crazy. All right, Chili's. Chili's has been doing really good. Definitely in a nice, smooth, clean uptrend. Crypto's holding. Crypto, I think, is where you want to be. Again, crypto doesn't have the quarterly earnings like the stock market does, and it just seems like a safer place to be right now with all the fiat issues and whatnot, in my opinion. Uniswap I recently bought. It's got the green lights, no institutional sellers, only institutional buyers. You're still looking okay over here. Let's look at Shiba, see what's going on. Shiba's got a pullback coming in, but if you're trend trading and holding, you should be okay, it looks like to me. Avalanche also says it's going to be coming down, but if you're trend trading, says hold. I mean, I don't think these cryptos are going to go deep and get decimated, at least not yet. Although I will say Ethereum and Bitcoin both show that they're definitely going to come down on the daily. Like, no question. I don't want to mince my words. Aave looks like it's coming down on the daily. However, it's saying you can stay in the trend. There's just certain ones you're going to want. And if you just think about it in a big picture kind of way, use the fear, use the pain, use the FOMC, use the Jerome Powell and all this fear to let it come down and snipe it. And even these prices at Link at 750, it's not the end of the world. Link was at, I think was looking the other day and it was like $50 or something. I might be wrong. Let me check that out. I thought I saw that. Was it that high? 52 bucks. Just look at it, guys. I mean, it's way down here. It is showing it's going to come down on the daily, so you're going to get a chance to buy it lower. And I just want to show you something. Okay, see this pink dot right here? And if you look down the screen, see how this crossed at the same time and this crossed at the exact same time? Okay, right at that moment, what happened? You got your first purple candle, and then that went pink, then this went pink, and then this whole thing happened. Okay? Then, when this went down and hit right here, okay, all your other ones are crossed over, and you started going up. Okay? So when these are high and they cross, like they basically are right now, it's going to come down, and it could be something like this. So if you want Link, you might get a really good chance to get it. We're in the bottoming process. This thing takes 6 months. We're 4.5 months into it. We got another month and a half. There's going to be ways to swing it up. I'm not really like shorting like Link myself. Like, I just want to buy more Link and more Algo and more Matic, and I'm even buying more Ape. Well, I already did. I don't know if I'll buy more. I recently bought Chiliz. I bought Uniswap. I have Shiba, I have Doja. I just recently bought Bat Token. Avalanche is one I don't mind buying more of, although I'm profitable, so I'm not sure. Atom is, I say that I like Atom, and I do, but Atom is more for me like a swing trader. It's not, I don't have as much conviction in Atom as I do in something like Algorand or Matic. Those ones I really like a lot. Ethereum is a Mando. You gotta have that, and Bitcoin, you gotta have that. If you want to learn how to like just crush the game and like always know how to enter and exit and take your gains and know when to get in at best prices and the best moments and momentum. I'm a momentum trader. A lot of people talk about bonds and fear and all this stuff going on. There's plenty to talk about. I get it. I don't really care. I'm aware of it. I know what's going on. I'm very well versed in economics, but I don't let it affect me so much because I'm more of a momentum-based pivot-to-pivot directional trader, and I wait for momentum and bounces and volume and sentiment, and every indicator on my chart is a momentum-based indicator. So it's all about the entries and the exits, and the system, the algorithm, everything we're building, we got our scalp settings, we got our swing settings, we got our day trade settings, we have our position settings, and we have our investing settings. One of the things that we're putting in right now for you guys that's super cool is, let's say you are trading on the hourly. Right here where this support is, it auto puts in the resistances and supports. But it'll use the ATR and it'll write stop. And then it'll tell you the price to put your stop loss so it avoids liquidity wicks. And then the next time it comes down, which is right here, which is above here, it didn't cut the low, it'll draw a new one here and it'll use the ATR and it'll put the stop price right there for you. Dude, it's going to be so sick. Eventually, we're going to try, I don't know if we can do it, we're trying to get all this stuff off the screen and built into here, and where you could just go into the settings and you could click green light strategy, swing strategy, investment strategy, and everything will be hidden, but all the mathematics and probabilities and calculations will all be in there. And I'm talking about thousands of calculations and signals. It's a deep code that we're doing. So Yeah, and it's going to have everything. Dark pool. It's actually going to determine the trend for the entire day before the market opens. You can already see we have institutional sells. We have our fat fingers. We have our bottom finder. The bottom finder is so cool. Let's see if I can find... I think it was Bitcoin I was looking at. Let me show you something real quick. I might have to back up a little bit. Yeah, okay. So here's an example. See all these little white ones? Boom, 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 boom. They all went off, and then it took off. And then when it came down, it was like boom, boom, and then it took off. It calls the bottoms. It's really neat. Look at this. Here's a false breakdown. It shows it's coming down. It says, no, don't sell. Don't get shaken out. It's going up. And boom, it calls it and goes up. Dude, our stuff is so sick. It's so sick what we're working on. There's a bottom finder. Look at that. Calls it right there. Boom. And takes off. Isn't that crazy? Calls it right there. Calls it right there. And then, let's see. Here's the low. Here's the low. Let's see if it ever went any lower than where my line is. And no, it didn't. Because if you notice, watch. Right where it called it right there, you're above it, aren't you? You're above it. It called it. Dude, if you guys want this, eventually this thing is going to be sold for a lot of money. This is not going to be cheap because you can get very, very wealthy off the AI and the algorithm that we're building. It's not done yet. You can come in the Discord for free. I'll talk to you all day long. So will everybody else. Really cool people. I'll teach you all my different strategies. I got a whole bunch of them. Crazy strategies that nobody teaches that are just super sick. And, you know, I'm really easy to talk to. And everybody, like I said, is cool in there. And as we build this thing out, you know, you'll have access to it. And you already will have the courses, the one-on-one coaching, and be in a cool community. Get my trade alerts and get the Wheelhouse Wednesdays and all the previous recordings. So, yeah, real cool. Look, I'm going to leave it there. I'm just kind of letting you know. It looks like the indexes and Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to come down on the daily, but they are trying to fight on the low time frames. But usually if it gets that far to the daily, it is going to come down. Just want to show you this. Here's a false breakdown. It's, you know, it looks like it's going to break down, and boom, it called it way back here, and here it's rallying. False breakdown, it's falling, calls it before it falls, and then rallies up. Dude, you guys have no idea the stuff we're into that you guys, dude, I literally, if you want edge and you want high win rates, like you need what we're working on. Just come in the Discord. Use the fear to your advantage. That's the way of the Jedi. Who loves you, baby? My name is Chris, and welcome to the Wheelhouse.